the Director of Ceremonies, our guest of honor, Honorable Naledi Panda, Minister of Science and Technology, Honorable Bale Kambete, Speaker of the National Assembly of South Africa, and also our host, Honorable Speakers, Deputy Speakers, and leaders of delegations, Honorable MPs from the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature, His Worship the Mayor of eThekwini, Councillor James Kumalo and councillors, Honorable Tulisile Dadra, Vice Chairperson of the SADC Parliamentary Forum Regional Women's Parliamentary Caucus, Honorable Members of Parliament from various SADC national parliaments, Dr. Esau Chivia, the Secretary General of SADC Parliamentary Forum, members of the diplomatic corps, invited observers and resource persons, staff from the SADC national parliaments, SADC Parliamentary Secretariat staff, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me, honorable delegates, to start my remarks during this opening ceremony by saying that we are not only Africans by geography, but the tracing of our ancestors confirms that we are indeed one people, Africans. There is therefore no doubt that we also have one destiny and have a duty to shape the destiny through consultative fora, such as this one, the 37th Plenary Assembly session of SADC Parliamentary Forum. We really need no special welcome, as we are home here in the Republic of South Africa. However, a special word of welcome goes to fellow members of Parliament who are attending the Plenary Assembly session for the first time. You are most welcome indeed. I wish to also welcome speakers of Parliament who are here for the first time, and these are, please bear with me my pronunciation, Honorable Speaker Troy Motsamai of Lesotho, and the Honorable Speaker Professor Peter Kajavivi of Namibia. You are most welcome indeed. On the same note, I wish to thank former speakers, Honorable Mohamed Amini Peru SC GOSK of Mauritius, who was also the president of SADC Parliamentary Forum. Honorable Dr. Teo Beni Gurirab of Namibia, Honorable Dr. Margaret Nasha of Botswana, and Honorable Sepiri Motanyane of Lesotho for their commitment and contribution to SADC Parliamentary Forum. Having assumed, thank you indeed. Having assumed the leadership of SADC Parliamentary Forum at the 36th Plenary Assembly last year in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe, I wish to thank you all on behalf of the Executive Committee for the trust bestowed upon us to lead this organization. We are grateful to the previous Executive Committee which put in motion the transformation agenda we are now having to implement. With your support, I have no doubt that we will collectively take this organization of ours to greater heights. Guest of honor, honorable members, this is the third time that the Parliament of South Africa has hosted the Plenary Assembly sessions. In the year 2000, Madam Host Speaker, your Parliament hosted us in Cape Town. This was followed by the 21st Plenary Assembly session, which took place at the historic site of Mogale City in Krugersdorp. We are now brought to this resort seat of Durban, which gives us yet another splendid view of this beautiful country. Furthermore, we are grateful that the government of South Africa is not only rendering support to the continental parliamentary organization, namely the Pan-African Parliament, but we are also supportive of the ideals and work of the SADC Parliamentary Forum since its establishment. Guests of honor, honorable members, the unwavering support we and other African organizations are receiving from South Africa should be appreciated in the context of this great republic's commitment to resurrecting and advancing the African Renaissance, a philosophy that believes in African people and nations' determination to overcome the current challenges confronting the continent, as well as commitment to achieve cultural, scientific, and economic renewal. The underlying argument is that the many challenges and problems we face as Africans will never become European or American problems. And the solutions to African problems should therefore primarily come from us as Africans. African unity is therefore at the center of us Africans finding solutions to our numerous challenges. Guests of honor, honored members, the 37th Plenary Assembly is gathered under the theme Industrialisation for SADC Development and Integration, the role of Parliament. This is in keeping with the current agenda of the SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government and SADC. This theme, which should guide our discussions during these few days, should be used to interrogate and to seek to provide answers to the paradox that characterizes our continent. Why Africa is resource-rich and yet the poorest continent on earth. The SADC region is endowed with abundant and diverse natural resources. As a matter of fact, this region's mineral sector is contributing 72% to the world's platinum group metals, 55% of diamonds, 41% of chromite, 26% of gold, and 21% of zinc. This has also been a recent discovery of oil and other valuable natural resources, which, if correctly harnessed, has the potential to propel Africa and SADC out of poverty. In spite of all these riches, honorable members, we are poor primarily because of our net export of raw materials, which is an impediment to our economic development and job creation. Consequently, we are experiencing serious trade deficit as we sell our raw materials very cheaply to the international market and import finished products at exorbitant prices. Unfortunately, this will remain our reality and that of future generations if Africa chooses to export timber and cocoa and in turn buy desks, chairs, and coffee at exorbitant prices from our European, American, and Asian counterparts. The solution to this problem lies in our determination to prioritize investment in value addition so that the region derives maximum benefit from its abundant resources. Guests of honor and honored members, in actualizing the desire for industrialization, the SADC heads of state and government at its 34th SADC summit held in Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe in 2014 resolved that the region should craft an industrialization strategy in order to spur regional economic development. The extraordinary summit of the SADC heads of state and government held on 29 April 2015 in Harare, Zimbabwe, adopted a 48-year industrialization strategy aimed at accelerating industrialization in the region. Now that the industrialization strategy has been adopted, giving us a long-term trajectory in this regard, the challenge we must now confront is to ensure effective implementation and monitoring of this strategy. The theme of the 37th Plenary Assembly session, therefore, seeks to challenge us as parliamentarians to identify our role and strategies aimed at facilitating the implementation and monitoring of the SADC industrialization strategy. We should not let this important regional strategic framework gather dust, as we have seen with many other SADC protocols. We have to bring to bear the fruits of our oversight function to ensure its implementation and the monitoring of the same. While we wait for our transformation into a SADC regional parliament, we have to ensure that effective oversight of SADC industrialization policy and program is done at the national levels by our respective national legislatures. We need to track and insist on the ratification, domestication, and implementation of the relevant regional instruments, which will serve to advance SADC's stated industrialization goals. There is no doubt that greater industrialization will serve to realize the objectives of the SADC Treaty and will therefore underscore the justification of the existence of our regional economic community. Guests of honor and honorable members, in pursuit of the transformation of the SADC Parliamentary Forum into a SADC regional parliament, I am delighted to report that we recently constituted a high-level delegation of speakers that on Monday, 15th June 2015, was afforded an opportunity to pay a courtesy call on His Excellency, Lieutenant General Seretse Khama, President of the Republic of Botswana, who is the incoming chair of SADC in August 2015. The delegation comprised of Honorable Speaker Anne S. Makinda of Tanzania and President of the SADC-PF, Honorable Speaker Gladys Kokorwe of Botswana, Honorable Speaker Professor Peter Gajavivi of Namibia, Honorable Speaker Advocate Jacob Francis Mudenda of Zimbabwe, and Honorable Speaker Baleke Mbete of South Africa. It also included our Secretary General, Dr. Esau Jivia, and Dr. Stegomena Tax, the Executive Secretary of SADC. This courtesy call, which will be complemented by visits to other SADC heads of state and government, served to highlight urgent need for the establishment of the long-awaited SADC regional parliament. It is nearly 2 decades now that we are merely operating as a regional parliamentary forum, whilst all the other regional economic countries in Africa have established institutionalized parliamentary organizations. This does not augur well for SADC's integration, and the regions envisage deeper integration into the African Union. Guests of honor, honorable members, the proposed SADC regional parliament will only deal with regional matters to the extent that its constitutive protocol will permit, and this will in no way encroach on the sovereign jurisdiction of national parliaments over their respective domestic legislative businesses. The ultimate transformation of the forum into a SADC regional parliament will not only serve to fulfill the intent of the resolution of the SADC Summit of Heads of State and Government of 8th September 1997, but more importantly, it will create a formal regional link between SADC and the people of SADC countries. SADC would be transformed into a people-centered regional organization as opposed to the current general perception which views it more as an organization for the executive. It is worth noting that the case for a SADC regional parliament was previously debated and approved by most SADC national parliaments, but the parliamentary turnover in recent years may require that we consider reviving this important issue at the national level. Honorable members, in conclusion, allow me to seize this opportunity to thank our guest of honor, Honorable Naledi Pandor, Minister of Science and Technology, who, in spite of her heavy schedule, found time to grace this important occasion. Your presence, Madam, is highly appreciated. Furthermore, I wish to profoundly thank the government and the people of the Republic of South Africa through the Parliament of South Africa for the hosting arrangements they have made to ensure that the success of this 37th Plenary Assembly session of SADC-PF and the splendid warm hospitality extended to all of us since our arrival is indeed very much appreciated. We will certainly return home with fond memories of this resort city of Durban, and I therefore wish you all fruitful discussions during the Plenary Assembly deliberations. I thank you all so much. God bless you all. God bless South Africa. Thank you indeed.